anyway, we have now 14 families, mostly single women with babies. We could have the potential of up to 100 at the Ramada Inn. My understanding there will be no additional sites here in the city of Yonkers. But as I said, they are now our guests. And Yonkers is an immigrant city, and we will treat the refugees with dignity and provide them the support that they need. At the same time, we're going to continue to drive for accountability from our friends to the south in New York and our friends to the south, because I'm certain that the $1 billion provided from the city health
Fatality.
Good evening, folks. I am Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, let's discuss the mayor, his press conference on the migrants that arrived here in the city of Yonkers, and also public enemy number one. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Good evening. You see there the mayor, I know this was 2 days ago. Let's talk about it. The mayor there with Lakeisha Collins-Bellamy, the city council president, and Dr. Quesada, who will be pretty much done next month as the superintendent of the public schools. I hear they're searching for someone. I'm not sure who it's going to be. Haven't made any announcements yet. But anyway, he was there because he's still in the role of superintendent, and they wanted to discuss the impact the migrants would have on the school system, if any. First, the mayor spoke before handing it off to the city council president, and then Dr. Quesada. The mayor calling the migrants refugees and saying that we are a city that welcomes migrants with open arms. However, we understand that we will need additional resources, and so we will be pushing hard with the state as well as with New York City, who sent them this way, to get more funds. But many are upset. This has really, I think, hurt the mayor the most out of a lot of things. We've seen the nepotism stories and obviously other things, basement politics here. But in regards to, really getting people to start to question whether or not they're going to fully support the mayor now, those who may have been considering supporting him, this is kind of, giving them doubts now. This is really making a lot of people upset. All races from all sides of town, Democrats and Republicans. And many are wondering why the mayor has not turned the buses back around or said, no, we cannot, accept them. We have our own issues here. And what's upsetting to many people is that there are actually homeless Americans that are being removed from these hotels. There was one woman with her baby at the Ramada who was in a Low HUD article who had to leave in order to make room for the migrants. But that's not a unique case. Other parents across the state of New York have also had to leave their hotel stays homeless. One father was changing his son on a bench after leaving the hotel room that they were staying in due to the arrival of migrants. And so that's upsetting people. They say, how is it that we're choosing homeless Americans, homeless vets over foreigners, homeless foreigners? And that's very upsetting to some people. The Ramada Inn actually is booked all the way up until February 24th. So I would imagine that the migrants that are arriving at the Ramada will be staying from now until that point, which is a long period of time. And many are saying that's not an extended stay hotel. If the mayor really wanted to stop this, he could have maybe threatened the hotel owners with some violations and shutting them down because they were now operating in a manner that they're not legally up. Internet. There we go. Let's listen to what the mayor had to say.
Wasn't provided just to do what other communities have done, which is to ship from one place to the other. That's not fair to the asylum seekers. It's certainly not fair to the residents of the city of Yonkers. And so we have work to do. We're going to do that, but I'm also going to continue to call on the governor to work to come up with a solution for local governments, because this, as we all know, is not going, the problem's not going to go away. It's going to continue, and we're going to have to come up with ways to make this happen. I recently had a phone call with someone in the mayor's office where I asked, where else are individuals going? Where else are families going in Westchester? And I got, oh, you know how expensive it is outside of Yonkers. Yeah. So what's happening here? Does this mean that the families will only go to the poorer communities? And certainly that's something that, as a budgetary issue, is something that we have to deal with, because we don't know what the healthcare needs are. We don't know what the Department of Social Services is going to deal with, or the county executive has been on my side and talking to me every that they need. At the same time, we're going to that will have a catastrophic effect on the local budgets. So that's why, again, I implore the governor to be with us on a plan that provides funding, that gives, and that is fair, frankly. We're willing to do our part, the city of Yonkers, but it has to be something that is shared by all. So with that, I'm going to ask the council president if she'd like to say a few words.
Let's listen to the council president.
I'd like the superintendent say a few words too, and then we'll open up for questions. So with that, Keisha Collins, council president.
There's definitely a border crisis. There's definitely huge problems at the border. Title 42 is coming to an end. That's the Trump era legislation that kept migrants from coming in because of health reasons, right? And so obviously of the pandemic, and there were concerns of people coming into America who were infected with COVID, thus spreading it even further. But again, that's coming to an end. And as some news sources are reporting, migrants have been told about this. They are aware that Title 42 is ending. So they said, we're coming, we're going to head to the border because of this. And so now they're anticipating as much as 10,000 migrants per day to reach the border and try to cross. It's unbelievable here. I hear the mayor, but I can't hear you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's listen to the city council president.
Good morning, everyone. As the council president and budget chair, I want to ensure you all that we hear your voices and your calls coming from the residents of the city of Yonkers that elected us to do just that, to run this city. As we are in the midst of our budget and we're constraining numbers to figure out how to cut costs to stay within our $1.4 billion budget. However, we are also a migrant city. We are also a city of immigrants who encourage people to be open to other diverse communities. However, we are calling on New York State, we are calling on New York City to contribute to ensure that we have the resources available, whether it's for healthcare or education of the asylum seekers who have come to the city of Yonkers. We have welcomed them. There are 14 families. We have brought them here. They're at the Ramada end, and we have been in contact with the state and with New York City to try to get the resources, and we won't stop until we have the resources to assist with the asylum seekers who come here. So thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Superintendent.
So again, it's not about like we're not welcoming, right? I mean, at least that's not my issue, right? I mean, it's not because we're anti-migrants or we're anti people looking to make a better life for themselves. What we're saying is that there are people being kicked out, homeless Americans that are being kicked out of these hotels in order to provide housing for them. So obviously we have our own issues here. And what about the homeless people that are all over Getty Square? Why aren't we giving them a Ramada Inn stay? That way the business owners there can have a clean, safe, pleasant place for people to shop instead of having homeless people smoking drugs, passed out in front of their businesses in Getty Square. Why are we putting them in the Ramada? I don't understand that. And so again, it's not about whether or not we're welcoming, that we're anti-migrants. It's not about race. At least for me, it's not about race. It's about the impact. And as the city council president says, that we're going to be pushing to make sure that we have the resources in order to handle the migrants that have come here, mostly families, mostly single women, according to the mayor, single women with kids. So far, they have about 50 families or something like that, or 30 families, what she said, but they're anticipating up to 100. There's 106 rooms total, I think, in the Ramada Inn, and they're anticipating that to be full of families. So they have children that are going to now need to go to the schools, that are going to need assistance with social services. I mean, eventually they're going to have to transition from the Ramada into a permanent housing situation. But we have a housing crisis in Westchester County and in Yonkers. Remember, you guys killed the affordable housing ordinance. And so now you have a lot more people fighting for fewer available affordable apartments. And so what is going to happen with that? When they need temporary or permanent housing, who's going to house them? Where will they be housed? Who's going to pay for it? Most of them will need to get government assistance. It's unlikely that they will transition quickly into a situation where they can sustain themselves. It's hard enough for people here in Yonkers to find a job where they can sustain themselves. And it's not like they're giving people work, although they promised a lot of jobs, but that's not happening. And now you're adding more unemployed, homeless individuals who will not only need a job and a permanent place to stay, but will also need services to help them integrate into the community. Services such as speech, right? English, Spanish language, helping them with the language. That's going to be an added strain on an already strained school system and an already strained city. And they're pushing a lot of people out, but they're bringing people in. I don't understand that. And the city council president should know. A lot of the people in your community are being pushed out. They're being priced out because of these developments, yet the mayor and you are welcoming migrants, non-Americans, and are fighting hard to figure out a place for them to live, how they're going to provide funding and resources for their education and their healthcare needs. We haven't heard that coming out your mouth in terms of the Americans that need it here. This is what I don't understand. They're fighting harder for people that are not Americans, people that are not from Yonkers. That's what I don't understand. I don't get that. And it's not that I have anything against migrants or anything like that. I'm just saying, what about the Americans, right? What about the problems we have here? Persons sleeping overnight in vehicles once designed, but no longer intend to be a place for human habitation are homeless according to HUD and should be included in homeless counts. Yeah, I mean, if you're living, a lot of people have converted vans and motor homes and old school buses into, housing, and they're parked along, streets all across America. So this is what I don't understand. Like, can we get our situation fixed first, right? We always say that in our personal lives. I can't help you if I can't help myself, right? We say that all the time. Girl, how am I going to help you, girl? My life is in shambles, right? We say that, yo, dude, I can't do nothing for you. I'm trying to get myself situated, right? We say that all the time to our friends and our family. but we can't say that to strangers. I don't understand that, you know. They will be having pool parties in July, while born and raised in Yonkers mothers will be on the street changing their babies' diapers on park benches. Yeah. And I love how the city council president says, we hear you loud and clear. No, you don't. No, you really don't. I don't think so. I don't really think so. I've heard most people I've spoken to, whether they're black, white, or Hispanic, and everything in between, don't agree with this, are a bit upset because, again, they themselves are getting short end of sticks. They're being told there's not enough funding or resources for their kids. Parents can't get their kids in UPK or in after school. There's not enough funding. There's not enough resources. So to hear this really is upsetting to people. And a lot of parents I hear are upset. A lot of people are now saying, we're probably going to speak out against his fourth term for sure, if this is what's going to happen, because what about our kids? What about us? What about the people of the city of Yonkers? And it doesn't matter if they're coming from across the border. They was coming from the Bronx, or which we were complaining about that, right? All the New York City people coming in here. So it's not about race. It's not about a group of people. I'm not saying they're criminals. I'm not saying they're going to do, it's not them. It's just the effects on our community. There is going to be an impact, and we have issues that we need to address now that are being somewhat, or pretty much for the most part, neglected. So that's just my thing, and I wanted to speak out on that. So they did arrive. They're anticipating more to arrive on buses and stuff. Again, they're going to be staying there to at least February 24th. At that point, there's going to be some, I guess, transition into permanent housing, or maybe they'll just extend the stay there at the Ramada. But for the owner of the Ramada, he's loving that, right? That's like, yo, I'm getting money. I know I'm guaranteed all the way to February 2024. Not February 24th, February 2024, right? He's good to go. I'm sure he's loving this. So, how did Rockland County stop it? Because they had elected officials that actually care about the people and what they say. They don't just say, we hear you. They actually hear the people. And so they stopped it. They fought it. They, even filed lawsuits against the hotels that were accepting the migrants in. But the city of Yonkers did nothing other than say, oh, we promise you that we're going to fight hard to get the resources from the state and the city. Yeah, you know what that means? They get more money from the state and the city for these migrants, and a lot of that gets funneled to themselves. That's what it's all about. It's another opportunity to get more federal government money. That's what it's about. That's it right there. Point blank, period. Anthony Moranti has a golden opportunity to take this orchestrated crisis and use it for his political gain, as he should. It's an issue that can unite the majority of the city, but will he? I don't know. I know he's put out some stuff on it, protesting it. Let me see if I can find what he put up here. But yeah, I don't know. He's not hitting, I think, as hard as he should, Anthony Moranti. But you have a good point there. This is something that's frustrating a lot of people. Republicans, Democrats, black, white, Hispanic, from all over the city. Check out Ron Mattin. Ron Mattin he's like me. He's bold. Okay, Ron Mattin is out here over there in front of Nick Spano's house. I had to go by and say hello. I had to. He brought out the Breen machine. Nick Spano was having an event at his home. That's not his house, by the way. He was having an event for Mike Breen. Right, his brother's a Democrat, but I guess he's still a registered Republican. And he had the who's who there of the city of Yonkers, many city employees. People that you find both at Democratic events and at Republican events. They don't care. They're told to go and support, they're there. That's what I got to do. I got to do it, right? It's like with Carlos Moran, or whatever, Moran. The guy's going around knocking on doors for the mayor, making $193,000 a year. Folks, I don't know if you've ever gone knocking on doors for petitions, but who the hell will volunteer for that? I mean, you got to really want that person to win. Even my wife said, I can't do this after 3 hours, and she's my wife. It's tough. It's not easy. And so for someone like Carlos Moran to go around doing that, I mean, there has to be some, you have to do it. It's like a requirement. You want this job? You got to do that. That's it. But that's my the Brain Machine, brought to you by Ron Matton, who's not letting up. Ron, that's dope of you, man. Show no fear. Folks, before I get out of here, I don't want to be too long. And this is what I don't understand. So look, this guy's supporting the mayor, right? So here's a connection. This is Brian Harrod, the guy that attacks me all the time, attacks multiple, many people in the city of Yonkers. Anyone that says anything against the nepotism, corruption, the current administration, anyone that's elected currently, he goes after them. If they're Team Zahi, he goes after them. And now he's sharing this. This is Rurose and him. You can see they're partners here. And I don't have an issue with Rurose. I want people to be I'm not in competition with the guy. This is not about me competing with him. This is purely about the fact that he is a pedophile. And I'm receiving more information today that in 1986, he was actually arrested for selling total of 6 grams of cocaine to undercover Yonkers police officers. So he's a pedophile. He's a cocaine dealer, yet and still the mayor utilizes him. And this is what I don't understand, Mayor. All due respect, the guy's a convicted and admitted pedophile. His partner is one of the most disgusting people online. And so this is what you guys are paying him. Paid for by Team Mike Spano. You're enabling and funding a known and convicted pedophile. This is the current administration doing this. This is what I don't understand. What example are you saying? The victims are still here in the city, man. I don't think they're going to be voting for you after that. Right. And look, they're trying to stop me. By the way, I got an update on my lawsuit, Zahi Jerris, the lawsuit where he's suing me for $1 million. Right. The guy wants $1 million. He wants to bankrupt me. He wants to send me to the poorhouse in hopes that I'll never get on the internet again and tell everybody about what he does. Right. He's trying to get an injunction now to stop me from doing my podcast. Little old me. I'm in a basement and you're suing me for $1 million, and now you're filing for an injunction to stop me. Stop my basement politics, right? The Shiat show, as Brian Harrod calls it. Ain't that right, Brian? I don't get it. What are you so concerned with? Right? What I'm saying is bogus. It's not true, right? Why do you care? Why do all these fake pages attack me? I don't get it. So do you see what the point I'm trying to make here? I'm getting at the point that the fact that you guys continue to do this, you validate me. Thank you very much. You validate me. Only people that are scared of the things that I'm saying would have an issue. They would try to sue me. Well, only one person has so far. I've been threatened by other people. But the information is there. It's true. And I'm not the one making it up. I'm not the one that's, this is coming from many people. Many, many people, folks, on the inside. They're tired of it. They see me as a vehicle to get this information out. And that's what they're doing. So if you want to reach out to me, everybody knows my cell now, 914-584-7852. Feel free to text me the information, right? I will verify stuff. Some people try to send me some false information, but send me the information. It's that time. You will remain anonymous. And so that's why they're trying to shut me down. They understand that more and more people are joining this mission, whether anonymously or not, in order to put out the truth. People are tired of the corruption, whether on Nextdoor app, on Facebook, or on Instagram, on YouTube. People are commenting. They're tired of it, and they're giving me this information. So if you want, I have all this treasure trove of information that I can present. And then you'll see that what I was saying was true. It was accurate, right? And so again, not all the information I can put on podcast because I probably will be in court with it. So I have to just save it. I don't want to give them any, heads up on how to, try to defend or, get around any information that I may put out, any audio recordings like Ruro has been asking me to put out. I'm going to save it, Ruro, for when I really need it at the right time. Because again, you said this way before I was doing basement politics. You said that elected officials wanted you to do what you're doing right now. So let's do it. I'm ready to rock and roll. We're documenting everything. Everything is being documented. Every single thing, whether it's audio, video recording, writing it down, we're documenting everything. Thank you to all the people that have sent me information, that have given me the warnings. that have sent me the documents, that have sent me the audio, that have sent me the videos. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. And that is why I always say this is a team effort. Whatever happens, however successful we are, it will never be Freddy Vazquez's success. It will be all of our success. So I thank you so much. I thank you for the support. And by the way, as soon as, yesterday happened with the police officer, I mean, I got a lot of information on this officer. And I'm, not even I'm going to leave that alone because I have a lot of respect for the officer, right? And so thank you respectfully. I appreciate it. It went well. It went the way it should go whenever you interact with police. She did a great job. A1, classy officer. Okay, so thank you. You guys hired a good one there. And by the way, everything is straightened with my car out. Again, I didn't have the car. I wasn't driving it for 2 months. That happens when you have multiple vehicles. It happens. My registration. Oh, sue me. But I got it taken care of. We're all good to go. All right. And the license plate thing is not, I was using illegal plates. I have custom plates and I have the original plate. That's it. That's not my mistake. That's their mistake. They didn't get that. Right. So I cleared it all up. I didn't have to deal with anything crazy. I respected the officer. She respected me. And it was great, but I definitely know that they on me. They watch my page. And why was I out there? Because I was following up a lead. Folks, I'm hearing some information. I sent out an email to a woman by the name of Sarah Sage. She is a DPW employee, but people are questioning how did she end up here making $100,000 as a grant specialist at DPW. Maybe you guys can help me out. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. People are upset because of the way, according to sources, allegedly the way she treats people at work. She thinks she runs the show. She believes that she's the mayor. She's able to go and do an internship while she's supposed to be at work and still get paid. Why? Why was she gone or given so many different titles where she started out as an aide, administrative assistant to Tom Meyer, then she's now a grant specialist, all within 3 years, going from $50,000 to $100,000. Not having to show up to work, come in for an hour, she gets to leave. Why? They want to know why is she protected. But they know this source, and they told me that there is a possible affair going on, allegedly. I don't know how true that is, but this is what I'm being told. And because of this affair, the person is helping protect her. And she doesn't like the fact that I mentioned this on the podcast. She doesn't like the fact that I mentioned the job title, according to this source. And so now she has vowed to go and ruin me and ruin my wife. So that's why we have to document everything, because we are targets. And it's unfortunate because my wife does an incredible job and the students love her. And kids sense things. They see it. And so they have come up to her and said it. They hear things from other staff. So when the kids love you, they got your back. Remember that. Today she was told that a staff member had told a student that her hall passes were no longer valid. Why would a staff member tell a student that she had just written a hall pass for, say that Miss Vazquez, an assistant principal, hall passes were no longer valid? Imagine you're an assistant principal and a one-to-one gets disrespectful with you, and you're the one that's being reprimanded. And Brian, you can post about this all you want. I don't care. I know you watch. It's fine. And this is why I put it out there, because I want to get ahead of it. So I don't want to say, oh, well, this was happening after the fact. I want to let you know what's going on. And kids are upset because they see this. So again, be careful what you say around kids. When they like somebody, when they love somebody, they're going to go and have their back. And they have her back. And it's unfortunate that someone who's done such amazing things is now having to deal with this because they don't like what her husband is saying on his podcast. That's all it's about. They don't like the truth. And it's very unfortunate who the individual was. I just don't understand it. This is why this political stuff is no bueno. Don't get involved. You can't trust anybody. Nobody. Everybody wants something. And all I want is to put the truth out there. I just want people to be aware of what's actually happening here. When these individuals come and they talk all this shit, they're full of shit. And I want you to know that for whatever it's worth. And that's why I do this. I don't like that you didn't mention I'm the Emperor of Yonkers. Oh, are you the Emperor of Yonkers? Brandon? That's Brandon Nider. Was that you in the McLaren? Nice, man. Live a good life, Brandon. Brandon Nider. I think you're a Republican, right? Republican. Vinny Spano's good friend. We're gonna have a conversation, Brandon, or no? Anyway, folks. So that's what I'm getting, and so I'm looking into it, and I hear that Sarah Sage, as powerful as she is, and I don't know if it's true. I did email Sarah. I didn't get a response from her. Just wondering if this, allegations were true. What is a grant specialist? What is your responsibility? What is your role within DPW? How do you acquire this position? Right? What are the requirements for this position? I didn't get a response. I tried to do my due diligence. So I was hoping I can have something to tell you guys, but unfortunately, she did not respond. But is it true? Are the allegations of an affair true? Is that why she is given so much leeway? Is that why she was given the position? They're going to hate me after this podcast. If it's true, they'll ignore me, right? I mean, not true, I say. But they're going to hate me. And they're going to come after me. And they're going to come after my wife. They're going to fire her. And I got into threats. I've got the screenshots of it. How does it feel to know that you're going to be responsible for your wife getting fired? That's what I'm being told. But who are the cowards that are texting me this? You see my face. Why can't I see yours? So, these are the threats that I get. These are the threats that my wife get. Actually, my wife has been dealing with some anxiety, some pretty bad anxiety. And she's actually, and I didn't want to, now we're okay. She's okay. Well, I don't want Freddy talk about it because I want people to know, and she's seen a doctor for this anxiety ever since she was told that they're have a microscope on her. They want to find anything that she's doing wrong, or maybe could be twisted into that something she's doing wrong so that we can get her. Imagine having that stress on you, having to watch your back. You don't know who is out to get you at your job, a job that you love. You wake up every day happy to go, but now you're not. How fair is that? All because I expose corrupt people. People who do bad things. As Nicholas Wasisco said, why is it the good people that get squashed? I don't know. Maybe this time the good people will win. It's up to you to come out and vote. It's up to you to come out and stop this type of criminal and mob-like mentality. I'm not concerned. I'm not scared. Neither is she. She's going to continue doing her job, the great job that she does, and just continue to document everything. And if that's the case, then we may end up in court over it. And that's fine. And everybody that we've got on this list will be there with us. And, I'm good with that because I'm a fighter. I don't back down. I don't get scared away. I don't get intimidated by people, whether that's, good or bad. It's just, it is what it is. And if I believe it's the right thing, I'm going to continue to do it. That's just what it is. So you can continue with the fake posts or fake pages. You can continue with the text messages, all that stuff. I really don't care. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't scare me. It only tells me that I am bothering you that much, that you are concerned with the information that I'm putting out and the information that I have not put out. the information that breaks up homes, takes down administrations, drugs, sex, and politics. I'm Freddy Vazquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. Sarah, can you respond to my email? If you truly have a beef with me, let me know about it. But it's not coming from me. It's coming from the people that you mistreat, according to the sources. And it's multiple sources that have confirmed this allegation of affair. Who is the big wig that's protecting Sarah? Brandon, have a beautiful day, bro. And if that was your McLaren, then you definitely protected all the way. Because the way you parked that car, man, I would have got my car impounded. I mean, you should have seen how Brandon had his car parked. But some people get away with everything, right? Just how it is. It is what it is.
Fatality.
I am Freddy Vazquez. Unfiltered. The place where truth lives and corruption dies. They want me to stop speaking the truth. It's not just me anymore, folks. It's a bunch of us. We got to come out and vote this year. Make sure we vote for change. By the way, if you have any information, reach out to me at politicwithfred@gmail.com, or you can contact me at 914-584-7852. Send me a text, 914-584-7852. Give me the information. Now is the time to get your revenge. You've been mistreated at work? You know about the corruption, the stealing of overtime? Who's not going to work but getting paid? Who got promoted but shouldn't have? Who crashed the car drunk and high? Who's selling the drugs? Who's supplying the cocaine? By the way, has anybody ever won big at City Hall? Any of the gambling? Anybody? What's the biggest pot they have there? How much can you win? I'm Freddy Vazquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tony, next time I see you, you're gonna have a cigar for me. We can chat it. Well, Tony, you don't gotta grill me, man. Man, dog. Shaking in my boots.
Freddy.
Shaking in my boots. Shaking in my boots. I'm Freddy Vazquez, Basement Politics. Thank you for support and thank you for watching, folks. It's not fair that people get $100,000. Meanwhile, there's so much that we need, but they'll make up job titles for individuals because, you know.
Freddy wins.
Lots of affairs going on. Got a lot of pictures.
Freddy wins.
I didn't want to see that. That's like breaking up homes. You know, I'm trying to stick to politics.
Freddy.
Y'all really like pushing the button, man. Y'all really pushing the button. I mean,
Freddy.
some of y'all crazy, man. Come on.
Fatality.
What would a divorce do?
Freddy.
How would that look to the people of the city Yonkers who vote for you?
Freddy wins.
Huh?
Fatality.
Think about the kids. I found out who the cocaine dealer is too. Damn, Johnny. No, not you, Johnny Limo. I'm just saying, damn, Johnny, the same that I say. I don't want them to say, look, they say Johnny Limo. No, I didn't mean that. I'm just saying, damn, Johnny. Something I just said.
Freddy wins.
Just in case, you know, Brian likes to twist things.
Fatality.
Brian, are you going to report about Rue Rose getting caught by undercover selling cocaine in 1986 when he was 27? They arrested him at his residence at 32 Ashburton, where he still resides today. So that's cocaine dealing and pedophilia.
Freddy wins.
What else will I find out?
Fatality.
What else does Freddy know?
Over.
No! Porn tapes, sex tapes, and all that shit.